Welcome to greencardguys.tv. You need to know this. Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our cares team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on, y'all? It is May 13th, 2025. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you secure your legal status. So the thing is, the government does not care, okay? The government is not your friend. No, look, the people who are the USCIS officers, the State Department officers, they're doing their job, okay? They are the ones that receive the directive from higher ups, right? Okay. So my experience with the USCIS officers, I'm very fortunate. They've been professional, they're friendly, but there are some bad apples. And it tends to be these bad apples, like you may have heard about people asking questions in a very aggressive way. That tends to be situations when there is not me in the interview room, okay? So I just heard the other day that someone attorney referred a client, their client to us for the interview here in Houston. Our fees didn't fit their budget, and that's okay. Everyone's got a different budget. I get it. I don't think we're like such a high, extraordinary fee that we're like East Coast or West Coast fees. Okay, we're here in Texas. We have a physical office in Houston, Texas. There's a lot of problems. So anyway, they had the interview, I think like earlier this week or yesterday. Today's Tuesday. And it didn't work out the way they wanted. Okay. So you need a lawyer, not just a lawyer, but you need one of us at Green Card Guys because we understand the difference. So what happened? What happened yesterday? Okay. They're not a client. So I feel like I can share a little bit, just a little bit, because I really want to point you all in the right direction. Y'all need to know this. A lot of lawyers I know don't want to share too much, and I get it. They don't want to share at all because they're concerned like, what's up, NYC in the house? What's up, Kitchen Prep, ASMR? Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to be here for about at least 30 minutes. So to give you an idea, I'm going to talk about a lot of range of topics here. So it's not a specific topic if you're watching later on. But here's the thing. The USCIS officer yesterday, this will not happen for everyone, but hopefully not, but they questioned the U.S. citizen. Now, usually in a marriage interview, the U.S. citizen maybe is asked like 5 questions. No, if it's a Stokes interview where they're separated, then yeah, they're going to get essentially the same amount of questions as an immigrant beneficiary. But yeah, apparently yesterday or last week, this U.S. citizen sponsor was questioned about how he or she obtained their citizenship. That's a problem. When they start asking that, that's a problem. Okay. So I love to share these kind of concerns because then you can feel more prepared. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for taps, hitting the like button. If you found this helpful, please share this with your friends. I really appreciate this. Our channel, I mean, I try my best. My marketing team is like, yo, John, you need to spend like 30 minutes just recording videos. I'm trying to. I have a list of videos. I got a bunch of these old school papers, checklist of videos I need to record for y'all. So please know I'm trying my best to help y'all out. But the thing is, if you have concerns already, you might want to schedule a meeting with my team anyway. Okay, let me see here. So you can see, check out our 4.9 star reviews. We would love to have 5 stars, 5.0, but we can't make everyone happy. We really try our best. Okay. So anyway, schedule a meeting. I think, yeah, this one. If you know you read our reviews and read our Google reviews, I mean, you maybe saw some of our testimonial videos, which thank you to our clients in the past. Really appreciate your trust. But if you know, this is it right here. schedule live during the live show you schedule, it only costs that amount right there, okay? If you schedule after, it's supposed to be that amount. Hopefully they figured that out. Okay. And you might wonder, well, why do we do that? Like, can I just talk directly to attorney? Of course, you can speak directly to attorney, but it's going to cost you a couple more digits somewhere here. Oh, oops, not that one. Anyway, it's 3 digits. There it is. You want to speak to one of us attorneys, it does cost 3 digits. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to, when you sign up as a client, you're going to have an onboard meeting with 2 team members, an attorney, legal. Okay, so it's included. So, but hey, you want to talk to attorney directly? You can, but some of you are not eligible. So I'd hate for you to pay a 3 digits. I mean, I feel bad, not hate. I feel bad if you have to pay 3 digits, and we could have just told you ahead in advance that you weren't eligible anyway. How's that possible? Because I train my team. Okay, they're not the ones on that do handle the pre-qualify session. They're the client care specialists. They're not attorneys, but I train them like they're attorneys. Okay, in the sense of screening, to save y'all some money. All right, I see some questions. So if you have any questions, welcome to drop it in the comment section. Again, thank you so much for all the gives, the likes, and shares. I really appreciate your time. Time is valuable these days. Of course, we understand that after the pandemic. We got Alfredo on Instagram. Is there a risk for a green card holder? No issues with the law to leave the country on vacation for 2 weeks, considering the current environment. You're a Venezuelan national with green card. It's hard to say, because we see a lot of videos. Some of it is videos like after the fact, right, of the situation. We even have a U.S. citizens that contact us that want our help for the future when they travel and try to come back in. So it definitely is a concern. I acknowledge that, right? But the advice for anyone traveling outside U.S. and coming back, it can be different because you might notice, especially the social media channels, I don't repost. I repost maybe a few videos, okay, very few videos, and everyone's situation is a bit different, especially with the travel question. Okay, Alfredo, but based on what you shared, you might have the standard questions, the new standard of questions that customs will ask you. But look, we also have to think about on the government perspective. Why would customs ask questions like this? Like, where have you been? They've been even asking U.S. citizens, like, why were you in that country for so long? It's like, WTF, like, why would that matter to you? But look, although your natural reaction could want to give a person, a customs officer, an attitude, try not to. It's not worth it. Just answer the damn question and move it along. Okay, answer the question, move it along. Now, look, they do ask some questions that I have heard, like, how much do you make? What do you do for work? Like, I have a full-time job, or I got my own company. And just, you want to, like, if I were asked in this kind of situation, I would just say that I have my own company. Like, why do you need, like, I'm not going to go in full detail, like, you don't need, or say, like, you don't need to know that information. Like, is this relevant to the inquiry of entering the United States? That's kind of how we conduct the interview with USCIS. Like, if they start asking questions that I believe is not relevant to the marriage or relevant to the adjustment of status, then I would say that, officer, I would ask officer, why, what is the relation to this application, right? Yeah, it's getting crazy. Geta Hernandez, thank you for asking a question. You're looking to start a company so you can get your workers on work visas. How long does a company need to be up before you start getting the visas? It could be up around by like 1 day, but because the thing is, like, in terms of like taking action, part of taking action is talking to a law firm like here, but of course, meeting with one of our attorneys in this situation for you, Geta Hernandez, especially related to companies. There's probably a lot more information you want to know. But essentially, yeah, it is crazy in Florida. It's wild. I saw some videos about Nashville as well. um, Yeah, Florida state law is ridiculous about that, them coordinating with each other. Let's see here. How long does a company need to be up? I mean, for residency, for EB we call it, for residency sponsorship, you need to eventually show proof of that you have the income, right? But you don't have to show that until like maybe a year later in the process. So that's why I say like you might as well just go ahead and schedule a meeting with one of my team members, um, because believe it or not, like you don't need that much. You don't have to show income at all in the beginning stage. And the beginning stage is like for EB residency could take at least a year. And then for like something like H-1B also or other visa types, L visa, um, you don't L visa. We do prefer to show revenue, but but again, there's prep time with us with immigration attorneys. All right, thank you so much for the questions. That's very kind of you, Guerra Hernandez. Um, schedule if you don't mind, schedule a time with my team, with me or one of my other attorneys, because you might find that it might be better legal liability wise than just have your team members schedule with us directly. Because I have thought about having like a kind of like a town hall, but everyone's situation, they probably feel it's confidential. They don't want to share it. You've lost 3 workers. Okay, scared of Border Patrol pulling them over. Yeah. What kind of work do you do? Are you in construction or something else? Man, if y'all in Florida, you gotta hopefully your company in Florida doesn't is not like that you can move it. Florida's doing damage. The state of Florida government, they have maybe they do know what they're doing, but it's gonna cripple their economy, that's for sure. Sorry to hear that, Guerra Hernandez. Thank you so much for your questions. Let's see. Kelly, thanks so much for the taps. Man, you are tapping on fire here. Thank you so much. Let's see. Someone named Sister asked, "Is it too late to get married?" No, it's not too late. Too late. Too late for some people if they're already married. But let's see here. But why do you ask? So some people asked about that. Like, is it too late to get married in terms of like when Biden announced the marriage pro in place? But that doesn't exist anymore. So, but in general, there's no deadline to get married for that kind of case. Manu, on TikTok, you had your interview May 7th in LA. It went well. They separated you. Okay. When can you get answers? Well, did you and your spouse answer it correctly? I guess so. It seems so because you said it went well. And I'm kind of curious, so like what kind of questions you thought were difficult, if you don't mind joining a live show. When can you get answers? That was May 7th. I mean, we've been very fortunate. Most of our cases, clients' applications, will get the approval within a couple days, maybe average like 1 week, but usually not more than a month. Okay. So by the way, we're taking a poll. Okay, we have a link. We have a link in our profile. If I can find it. This is for YouTubers and Facebook. That's what it should look like, something like that. If you're on TikTok, then it looks like this. Go to my profile on TikTok, click on LNK. Then you're going to find an option to take a poll. Please do that because it's anonymous. I mean, you can provide your name and email so my team can consider providing you a courtesy update of your case status. But we need the receipt number. We need to know when you filed it, the receipt date. And what we're gonna do for y'all is gonna create a graph, essentially, a graph so that we can see like the trend. So we want to provide y'all real-time trends based on your help. Really appreciate it. And so that should only take you like less than a minute if you have some time. All right, hope y'all doing well. Happy Tuesday. So if you're new here, put the number 1 in the chat. Okay, put the number 1 in the chat if you're new on any of these platforms. I'm always interested to see how these channels have reached or whatnot. your neighborhood per se, your phone. Um, because we want to help as many people as possible, and it can be difficult because some are not eligible. Again, so that's why we do offer the right now. If you schedule during live show, $5, I guess, like kind of like a promo, five this amount less than a cup of coffee. I'm not supposed to say numbers apparently on this app. Let's see. So you're welcome to join the live show as a guest if you like, if you are not too shy. Some of you have told me that you've been watching for several months, for several years, and then you finally join the live show. So don't be shy, okay? I mean, unless of course it's like super confident, it's confidential. Sure thing, I understand. But sometimes I'm able to quickly assess and provide you some guidance right here for free. Doesn't cost you a penny. You don't even have to send me a gift via TikTok or whatever. Aliza Bara, you have discussion hearing today with who? USCIS? The court? Ama, am I doing the promo now? Yes, during the live show is a promo for y'all to schedule a pre-qualified session. This amount is not with attorneys. This amount is with a client care specialist, and they'll see if you're eligible. Okay. Now, sometimes people who schedule a pre-qualified session with their non-attorneys end up getting scheduled with one of our attorneys, and we're happy to do that. We'll make it as easy as possible for y'all. Ama, oops, this way, right there. Oh shoot, it's backwards for y'all. Let me see if I can change that. There we go. Bam, done. Found that button. Okay, let's see. So numbers right there. I forgot my magic one. So let me know what is something that you're this show like relevant for y'all. I can keep talking about immigration, of course, but let me know your questions. What is your current concern? There's a lot of things going on with immigration, of course, but one thing I can share with y'all is that some of y'all, if I had to put a number to it, like it seems like five out of like 50 people that are on live show have some kind of question about delays, that their case has been delayed. You think it's stuck. You're not too sure. Put the letter D in the comments, D for delayed, in the comments, in the chat box, and let me know if you can type it in with your hand, what month and year you filed your case. And I'm just going to assume it's adjustment of status. If it's for something else like petition only, just put 130 on there so I know. Even for the I-130, for example, like this one says 17 months, and that is sponsored by a U.S. citizen. Okay, this is not just for marriage, but this immediate relative. Now, if this is over here, where it does not have any digits, generally it was 24 months. They changed this. This is sponsored by a resident, F2A category right here, family preference. It doesn't have a number anymore, and that's because the USCIS does not want to share with you on purpose. They claim that they don't want to give you a decision on the petition until your prior date shows up on the visa bulletin. That is a fucking problem. Ooh. That is a problem. My team says I should curse less. Okay. I want to empower you to make a decision to take action at the right time. Okay. If you don't know what the right time is, which is fine, that's why I'm here. Okay. So if you've been here on the show for at least a minute on your respective channel, click on the plus sign, click on subscribe, follow on your respective channel, and click on the bell for future notifications, because you never know when you might get stuck and you're like, damn, where's that dude from Green Card Guys? You can't find my channel for some reason, or you can't remember my name, John Ting, or Green Card Guys. Then I don't know what to tell you. I changed my name to make it a lot easier for y'all. My company name. Guerra Hernandez, your I-130 is sitting at 12 months. Hopefully. Who's your sponsor? You sponsored by a citizen or a resident. So that's something to highlight that most people are not familiar with and need to know. Because you're sponsored by a resident, then that generally will take more time. But here's the thing. Here's why this is a problem where it doesn't have a number here. And they say they want to give you a decision when the prior date shows up on the visa bulletin. Number one, you got to check the visa bulletin at least every 6 months. Okay, at least if you're not familiar with it, it's very, very important. Because if you miss it, you're screwed. You're SOL. You're gonna have to restart the process and pay the fees again. For some people, the fee is not the problem. It's like just having to restart the process. That is ridiculous, right? Okay, good, Hernandez. That's good to know. You're a citizen. So yeah, so I guess your husband's abroad, because then yeah, that's 17 months. So you're almost there. And even though it says 17 months right here, it's not always the case. 17 months. Fortunately for our clients, generally it's about 12 to 15 months for I-130 only. Now, if this is for 485, which I don't think I have a chart about that. 601, I got the N400. I forgot to put the 485, but okay. But 485, look, y'all, I got at least two interviews per week for the next like month and a half. They're coming in hot. These interviews coming in hot. And so if you are one of those folks that like procrastinate, you're like, oh, this is a piece of cake. I mean, maybe for some of y'all, it's a piece of cake, right? If you're very organized, you're confident, like you're naturally confident. Both of y'all, if both of y'all are naturally confident, you still need to know what the questions could be, right? So I'm not saying that you need our help just because if you're nervous. I mean, there's many confident people, but if they don't do this every day, they need some guidance, right? Just like anything in life. Like I don't know anything about plumbing. I'm going to hire a plumber. I'm not, I joke with my wife, but like, yeah, I Google, YouTube videos about plumbing or something. But at the end of the day, I'm just curious, right? I'm still going to hire someone. I ain't going to play around. I'm still going to hire someone about that. All right. We got Jay. So please keep asking questions. Because I always got a lot to talk about. All right, so I see someone's want to join live on TikTok. I'll be right with you. We got Jay on YouTube. Do I have any videos prepped for 485 interview? I do, but that's for clients. I've been wanting to record some for y'all that are not clients. I just I'll see what I can do, but I don't know. Like, when is your interview? Let's see. Oh, he's in Florida. Can I talk about must have for 485 interview? You were in removal proceedings before, which was dismissed. Okay, great. Well, number one then for you is if you had a removal case before, but it was dismissed, now currently dismissed, bring the removal order. Okay, which you likely already gave them a copy. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, man, I gotta bring all that paperwork again? Let me clear it up. There are some documents you still need to bring that you provide them. Like, for example, like the original or certified marriage certificate, your passport, your original or certified birth certificate. So it's very important. So even though you may not be scheduled for interview now, you need to start getting those things ready, because some people are like, damn, I wish I had requested the certified birth certificate a long time ago. It's like trying to get that expedited from the state Bureau of Vital Statistics. So just go ahead and get that done. Go ahead and request it. So, all right, damn, I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna have to write this down. 485 questions. And so please know, when I record this video about the 485 questions, it's like there's gonna be so many more. But I'm gonna try to make it a short video, like 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, and then let's see here. Documents you need, docs you need. Okay. Okay, JU. So one thing I can share with you about the 485 type of documents for the interview is, if this is based on marriage, you need to have the updated, a more recent up. When I say update, I mean like recent, the last 6 months bank statements, okay, or credit card statements if you have a joint account. Which, if you have not married yet or you haven't had an interview yet, go and you don't have a joint credit card yet, meaning like add the other spouse to your as an authorized user, go ahead and do that. Especially if your spouse doesn't have good credit, like vouch for them a little bit, boost their credit a little bit. And I mean, apparently companies charge money to help people with boosting credit, so you might as well do that for your spouse. By the way, Discover and Amex apparently boosted the best. So yeah, do that, and please notice if you tend to not use your joint accounts together, this might be the time to do that, okay? Because the purpose of if this is not clear, the purpose of bringing those statements, credit card statement or check account statements, to the interview is so they can see transaction activity. All right, if it's like one or two things like transfer or something, transfer in, transfer out, they'll be like, this doesn't seem like you're having like a marriage life together in terms of expenses. Now I know society wise, USCIS somehow believes that most marriages you have a joint account. Um, and although I do believe it's important to have a joint account, the reality is that for most married couples, you use your own account, right? Because it's just easier in the sense. But when it comes to immigration, you might want to switch how you do it, at least for the time period, and use that joint account. Now, not saying like if you have 20 different type expenses that you have to have all 20 expenses on that joint account. But if anything, there's a couple different ways to do it, but I'll record a video about that. Okay. Guerra Hernandez, the reason I asked where he's located is because, what's it called? Because you mentioned I-130. So I'm hoping, because you're a U.S. citizen, well, maybe did he maybe enter without a visa? Then that'd be the reason, petition only. Okay, so let's get Rennie on. Rennie, and then so see, I got so much to say. Sorry about that. Hi, Rennie. Oh shoot. Okay, there we go. I got my audio on. Can you or sound? Hi, Rennie.
Hi, good day.
How's it going?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Okay, I got a quick question. Um, so can you start filing, and then upload your marriage certificate after you get it? Because it's going to take a while. They say it's going to take probably a month. Can you use the license that you receive, and then when you get it, you upload it after?
Um, yeah, you can, but it's you don't have the recorded marriage certificate already.
Record it?
The recorded, yeah, like filed to the county. Is that what you're waiting for?
No, remember you got to pick up this. You have to pick up the certificate itself, but remember you get a license.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah,
In
I
Texas,
don't
like
know. I
maybe a
don't know.
couple days.
I don't know. They say since we're in the month of May, they're probably waiting and then do May month.
Are you married already?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's been 2 weeks.
You just have to keep an eye out for your when you get the receipt notice that they send you some kind of another 797 document that says like the account online account, so you could get registered online so that you can upload those documents later. But just generally, I mean, yeah, you can upload documents, but how long have you been married?
It's 2 weeks since.
Oh, 2 weeks. Yeah, then I would just kind of hold off. You don't need to feel like you're in a rush to file. Although I always say, take action. You do need like at least one or two check account statements together to show some activity. Um, because you also don't want to show USCIS that like you're such in a hurry. I mean, when did you start dating? So it all depends. When did you start dating this person, your spouse?
This is a years ongoing story. it's not it's years. Like there's proof there. I'm on the water bill. Oh,
Okay.
actually, the
Okay.
mailman has
Yeah.
come to the house.
Okay.
ESNG.
Okay. Well, yeah. To just answer a direct question, you can upload it later as long as you get that letter that says online accounts that number and you register it, so you can upload it later. So
Oh, you're talking about when you have a account
when you
with
file,
USCIS.
yeah, after you file, they'll mail you some documents, receipt notices, and then you can.
Oh,
One of the papers is the online account number, and you need that
oh,
number
okay,
to access your online account. Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay. Do you have an attorney?
So, um, I really don't think I need one. But everything is pretty straightforward. I'm still in legal status, and
Okay.
um, we have on our insurance, health insurance,
What kind of legal status are
we
you
have
on? If you don't mind, TPS, is that what you're talking
visitor
about?
HB
Oh, H
visitor.
visa. Okay. Okay, good deal. All right. Well, it sounds like I answered your question. But if you have a question in the future, welcome to hop back in. Okay. All right. Thanks, Rennie.
Okay,
All right. Let's see. Let's get. I hope you're all doing well. If you're just now joining, if you're joining for the first time, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help you secure legal status. If you're on Facebook or YouTube and you want to join studio, email in here and put in line studio. It might be an automatic email. We'll see. So I might get it pretty quick. So I'm gonna go back and forth between platforms. Okay, Garrett Hernandez, that sounds about right. Got a long ways to go. Okay. Yep, yep. So waivers, here we go. Waivers right now. We update these slides, these process time maybe like once a month. But when I uploaded this a couple weeks ago, we did this is like 36 months. Ooh, tres años. 36 months for the waiver, 601A. So that's why part of our process with our team, as soon as you sign up with us, we generally recommend have an onboard meeting, which is with two team members the next day if possible. Okay. We allow some time blocks available to do that because the sooner we have that, we can start rolling and go into the next step. Okay. Because we reduce our own internal processing times because we know the government, as soon as we file it, they're going to take lollygag and take their own time. So, sorry, it could be backwards on Instagram. Let's see. Let me hop over here on uh, YouTube. You have SM's question. You have pending VAWA app. You recently became an RN. Thank you for your service and would like to try GC sponsorship. Can you have two applications? Generally, yeah, you could have two applications. Yeah, there are limited scenarios where two applications is not advisable, but it also depends on the timing of those applications. What if one is denied? Well, if you were denied for GC green card application through work, I mean that's going to be a far ways anyway. It might be possible that your VAWA, because you already have a pending VAWA, that could be approved first before your GC through your company. Alrighty. So those are kind of examples of insights I like to share that it might not be easy to Google search or search online. Okay. So if you have joined now, go ahead. If you've been here for a minute and you haven't followed or subscribed, go ahead and do that on your respective platform and then click the bell. Okay. Because you never know when you might have a question later. And look, this is free. Might as well take advantage of it. Tina, what if your spouse is overseas? What do you mean? Like you're trying to get your spouse here ASAP, or did you file something for your spouse, Tina? A petition already? No. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jay. Happy to help. Marsha, you've been a GC holder for 50 years and you have a biometric appointment this week as part of the renewal process. Should you be worried? Your anxiety has been through the roof since I'll finish your sentence since Trump has been in office. Okay, Fila and Asan, I see you. I'll be right there with you. Um, renewal process. You don't want to become a citizen, Marcia? Come on now, let's get you to vote, okay? Eventually, after you become a citizen, okay? Because also, I see your follow up comment here. Because should you bring your American spouse of 30 years with you to the biometrics? You're a green card holder, so you're good in terms of biometrics. Now, look, if you have a concern because of like the travel and whatnot, like that'd be at the airport. But again, I don't know what state you're in. If you're in Florida, yeah, then I don't know what to tell you in Florida. That's effed up what's going on in Florida. Um, I'm curious what it would be like if like I don't know, I got some weapons in my car. Not that I wouldn't it would not show off the GUN, but like if they're gonna bust my window, it'd be like, okay, you're gonna get this back because you're not identified. I don't see like you got a plain clothes, you're hiding your face, so it's like the Wild Wild West. You gotta defend yourself too. Now I'm not promoting violence, but look, if they don't identify themselves like a government law enforcement agency, they gotta be careful too. Just saying. um, Marcia, if you don't, since I'm assuming, Marcia, you don't have any crimes, no arrest, and you're going for biometrics, I would not be concerned of the biometrics. Fortunately, I have not heard any issues about people getting picked up at biometrics. Thank you so much for your questions. I really appreciate it. Please take the time because today's Tuesday. I'm going to have a webinar tomorrow. So especially if you're looking for an option, let's say you're not married, but either way, click on my link, then go and click and schedule for a webinar. Okay, this is also free. It's not on any of these platforms. Okay, so it's a little bit more intimate in that sense and easier for me to answer your questions. Um, but I'm going to do a Know Your Rights workshop tomorrow, and then next week is going to be about L visa, and L visa is more like the what I call like the legal loophole, because it's actually not difficult to start a company in America. I don't know how difficult it is in your country, but you might want to think about that especially if you're not married to a U.S. citizen or a resident. What we do here at Green Card Guys is find options for y'all, not just depend on you got to get married, which I know some people don't want to do. Totally understandable. All right, let's get the next guest on. Sorry about that. Fila and then Asan and then Choco Flan. Well, hello, Fila.
Thank you very much. Hey,
What's going on?
so I had a quick question. Um, so in my case, I am, I guess, an asylee, a legal asylee. I came here for school and then applied for asylum, and it's been about 6 years since I did. I've moved around from state to state since I applied for asylum. I'm finally in Washington State right now, and I was wondering what can I do to speed up the process? Because when I applied, COVID happened and everything slowed down and everything was shut down. When they opened back up, they, I guess, put my case in the backlog, and they're processing the new one. So how can I make sure that I get my case to them quicker? I guess.
So you applied around like 2020?
No, around 2019, 2020.
Okay. So yeah, we filed mandamus and you're waiting for the asylum interview, it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've been successful in filing lawsuits, mandamus lawsuit against the government agency. For this one, it's USCIS to get the interview. Sometimes for people like a lot of people surprised, but after we sue, generally it seems to be about 2 to 3 months after we sue, you'll get the interview. It's not automatic for everyone, but you've already been waiting about 4 to 5 years minimum. Yeah, we usually wait 4 years from receipt date and then we file it.
Okay, but would that cause any repercussions with the current state, with the political state? Like, would that be
No,
a problem?
no. USCIS doesn't care about that. The officers are just doing a job and just interviewing people, collecting information. It's not relevant to the related to the ICE enforcement in that sense. But thank you for asking, for verifying. And most of the time,
Okay, makes sense.
as
Okay,
far as I
so
know, like yeah, even the USCIS officers, they're not even aware if someone's sued. They just whoever does the scheduling, like supervisor, like here's another file. It's like then I don't think officers spend the time like, oh, why is this one like in front of my desk in that sense. Like, um, there's not like a red
okay,
banner or a red flag. So, and yeah, and plus it's even more reason to sue now because you've been waiting this amount of time already, minimum 4 years, because your claim for asylum, knock on wood, we want it to be preserved, but it might not stay the same forever, right? Like the government could change, or like
yeah,
China, for example,
yeah,
they don't have the one child policy anymore, and so people who relied on the Chinese nationals, they can't get asylum. So that's just another example, aside from just waiting too long.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So schedule one of those meeting options.
Okay,
Okay. All right, Fila. Thanks so much.
okay, okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right. So that's like Fila was asking me about asylum case application, but we file lawsuits for pretty much any type of application. 485 been delayed for the interview, or even delayed for the decision. Okay, like look, if you just got this interview like last month, like you already had the interview last month, we some law firms might be like, yeah, 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 sign up, but we don't do that. We have a chart that we follow. We always 90 maybe not always 99.9% of the time we follow our own chart that I collect information with other colleagues across the country. So because it's based on unreasonable delay. Okay. So it also depends on the type of application. Christian Candia, are there issues with conditional GC filing for bankruptcy? I have no idea. Haven't heard of those issues. Because to remove the conditions, they don't ask any questions about finances. Okay, like sponsorship, nothing about that. Maria Guzman, how long are AOS taking right now through U.S. citizen spouse? Oh man, I was saying this earlier that I have at least two adjustment status interviews per week for the next month and a half. Like we are rolling. It's coming in hot. These interview notices are coming in hot, and that has been average 6 months or less. That we filed the case 6 months or less, and no, it's not. I don't think it's anything directly related to Trump, meaning like that Trump did some directive say process these cases faster. I don't think it's that. I think my conspiracy theory on this, maybe I won't call it conspiracy theory. My theory on this is that because so many federal workers are getting canned, fired, or terminated, that I feel like there's some kind of camaraderie between the USCIS officers or employees that they're like, bro, can we help each other out and we just work on getting these cases like processed sooner than later? I think that makes sense to me because if half their staff or 10% of the workforce gets terminated, it's going to be a struggle for a lot of other people. So bless their hearts. Thank you so much, USCIS officers. So if you're watching this later on, thank you so much for your help. Our clients in Kids Lovely Place. What about a second interview? Is it hard? First interview is separate. Your second interview is also going to be separate. I just went to another state for a second interview, and it was Stokes, meaning separate. So who is this? Ask this. whoever asked that, oh, kids lovely place, contact my team, okay? You don't want to play around. I'm assuming you don't have a lawyer. Okay. Let me write that down too. Second interview expectations. All right. All right. I got another like maybe 5 minutes with y'all. So if you haven't followed yet, subscribe, follow, click the plus sign wherever it is on your respective channel, and then click the bell for future notifications when I go live. Because I just go live when I get a chance. Maria Guzman, yes, I do recommend that. Okay, let's get Asan and then Choco Flan. Then I gotta wrap it up. Hello, Asan. How are you?
Hello, sir. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a couple of questions. I came on A1 visa 1.5 months ago. So going to file an adjustment of status soon. So I want to know which kind of evidence we can say, okay, this is the strong evidence for relationship, which I should put in my packet. And other question is this, and what is the processing time in Ohio State, and then how important is having a lawyer to file an adjustment of status and then bring him to your interview.
You want to know, have you filed anything yet?
No,
Not
not
yet.
yet.
Are you married?
Yeah, we are going to marry this Sunday.
Oh, okay. Well, early congratulations to you.
Okay.
All right. Let me check the processing times for you. Said 485 in Ohio. What city is that? Cleveland for you, or where?
Yeah,
The closest
my
one.
state is Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, but which city is closest to you? Cleveland or
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati? Okay. All righty. Let me click there. Oh boy. So 80% of cases for Cincinnati, Ohio is about 15 months. 15 months. So every city is a bit different, but so far for us this year, Trump era, seems like about 6 months. Okay, so but of course whatever I share with you is just what I share. It's not a guarantee for you. But I know some people are discouraged about processing times, but it kind of doesn't matter because you still need to file it, right? You still need to file it because I don't know what it is about human nature, right? Psychology wise, that when people hear a number that's like longer than expected, like, yes, we can pout about it, we can complain, but you still need to file the application. But people tend to continue to delay their filing. So in your situation, you're not married yet, you are soon, but some things you need to do. Now, this is what we share in our onboard meetings, for example. So you're getting a lot of value here, whoever's listening. And all I need is just a little tap. Okay, tap and follow. But the what's it called? You need to get a joint bank account together. You could join your fiance's now, or he or she can join yours. Okay, it doesn't matter whose. It just needs to be at least one. And then you also want to do the same thing for a credit card if you can. Add another one person spouse as an authorized user. Okay. Then let's say you have a credit card, right? You've got to pay that bill every month at least, which by the way, I recommend every 2 weeks. It's good, better for your credit. But you pay it at least once a month, pay it through your joint checking account. So it's all interconnected in that sense. Okay. And you actually have to use these accounts. Don't just let it sit there. Okay.
Right.
Actually have to use it. What I mentioned earlier, it doesn't mean like, let's say you have 20 different type of expenses. It doesn't mean all your expenses have to be paid by this checking account or credit card, but at least, a good number, like easy ones, gas, groceries, your eggs are for $10, things like that. So, insurance,
Right.
but yeah, you can still maintain your separate account, but that's just one main example of evidence of marriage together that you need to provide. Okay. All right. But anyway, there's examples that we share as a attorney-client relationship.
Right. what about how important is this having a lawyer during the file adjustment of status?
Uh, I appreciate y'all asking me. You're not the only one. Um, and I know it might seem kind of strange that some people ask, right? Because I'm a lawyer, right? But but I'm a little bit different. Like it's not so much even about education that you're like you feel intelligent enough or something. It's more about if you are busy, you got your own job, you're doing your own, you have your own company, yesterday doesn't mean you're gonna get RFE tomorrow, right? Um, but keep track of it. Have a guide that's available to you, step by step, especially in the Trump administration. Some things some things can throw you off because the government's ridiculous under Trump, especially more ridiculous under Trump. So that's an example. Plus, also like some people get an RFE, some people request for evidence, some people get a notice of intent deny, which means USCIS is leaning towards denying a person's application, and you have 30 days or less to file a response. So that's another good example. Like half the time, most people are trying to find a lawyer.
Sir, I have another quick question. When I came USA, I had a 7-month passport. So my passport is now 4 month. I mean more than 4 months. So should I renew it now, or should I first I did this do this adjustment of status and do it later?
Your passport to renew it. Well, I mean, for the interview, you need to bring it to the interview, but um, I don't know. Just up to you, I guess. Because you don't, as long as you have one for the interview, that's all that matters. Are you in America? I'm assuming you're in America because you mentioned Cincinnati. So, also just depends on your embassy or consulate how long it takes them to process for renewal. Okay, for your passport.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck, Hassan. And yeah, believe it or not, I mean, it does not matter about your education level. You could have a master's, you could have the Nobel Peace Prize. We haven't had a Nobel Peace Prize contact us. You could be the badass in whatever, like your industry. USCIS doesn't give a shit, okay? And so if you want the most peace of mind, yes, having an attorney is helpful. I'm sure plenty of people have been able to do it themselves successfully. But especially if you're one of those like, you're busy, you get too stressed out a little bit easily, then you need to contact my team. You might want to think about that if you appreciate that. But I'm not saying you have to, right? I'm not saying that you need a lawyer for everyone. It just depends on you. Let's see. I think we got Choco Flan. All right. What's going on?
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
Hi, John.
Welcome back.
So I have a question based because my mom is concerned for this, but so mom would be filing for status adjustment for myself. And she was wondering if there is any kind of like deportation protections while we wait for status adjustment that the lawyer, you as a lawyer could maybe file for someone while we wait in the case that they were to like run into ICE or anything like that.
Yeah, so thank you so much for asking. So it might not, there's a couple of things to know. It likely will not stop an ICE officer from detaining a person, a family member. But after, unfortunately, being detained, then we share the information. Okay, we have a case on file, we have a receipt notice, we got the evidence of the relationship, and then let's go ahead and get this family member released from detention center. Sometimes on their own recognizance, meaning no bond required, no payment required to the government, and sometimes there has to be some kind of payment. So it's a numbers game, unfortunately. They don't care, essentially, if you have an application on file, but then that's where the legal process works, that we have to file the bond request, things like that, because it's a numbers game. It's a quota for them, unfortunately.
Right.
That's why they're so crazy. Mm-hmm. But that's why it's even more important to go ahead and file the case sooner than later.
Right.
So you do have that evidence ready to
And
go.
also, my mom did have a 245I document, and for some reason, we are not able to locate that anymore. I don't know where it is, so that's very unfortunate. I did see it because I had spoken with a paralegal like months ago, and I didn't even know what that piece of paper meant, the 245I. So she did explain to us what that was, and so it would protect, not protect, but it's like I could do the interview
in America,
within the U.S. versus having to go out. So is there a way to actually get a copy of that 245I?
Yeah, I think it's, you said maybe for your mom's situation originally.
Yeah.
So we need to file a FOIA. I thought one of my team members may have talked to you about that, possibly, to do a FOIA.
Yeah, no, actually they didn't. Well, I've gotten the text messages asking me if I have received or if I've been able to locate the 245 document.
Oh, okay.
But I had asked them a couple of times if they were able to find out how I'm able to request 245I copy, but they haven't gone back to me. So
okay.
I was just figuring it was very busy.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Okay, my bad. I think I know your name in our system. Let me pull it up. Let me make a note for them that we can find a way to make it to have part of our service if they sent you a quote already or anything to make it easier for you in that sense. Oh, okay.
Send the quote just yet. I think the only reason why they have it is because they wanted to see the 245I document to send over, and then they told me that they would review it and then they'd give me a quote based off of after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that here. So yeah, my team is pretty good. They're pretty mindful of that. We don't want to pressure anyone, of course, but okay. So yeah, I see there's no link here for the quote. So I'll if it's okay, we'll ask them to send it to you. And this is for you, right? You'll be the beneficiary?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then who is your sponsor? Is that one of your parents, your mom?
It would be my mom, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you can email us or text us your mom's name and email. Some parents might not have email, but we still have to use something. It's just part of technically she would be a sponsor, so
yeah, she has an email and everything.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and shoot them a text message. And then the last one is more just because I just recently read on social media that IRS and Homeland Security have come to an agreement with ITIN numbers and IRS giving information to Homeland Security. Is that like a really great risk for everyone, or do you know if it was just based on people who have already like deportation cases?
I don't think any immigration knows exactly how or who USCIS is asking for certain people. I can imagine. Hopefully, it's very specific situations. But the article I read from I think USCIS, I don't think it's specified. I think it just meant like they had an agreement together.
Oh, okay. So the probably still figuring out the deets.
It seems like it, yeah. So I'm gonna make a note about your situation, your scenario with my team to just verify. We got the 245I part, but we want to verify the pathway for you, okay? So hopefully they can contact you later today or tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Bye.
All right. So let me see if I can answer some questions up top here. I think Alma had a question. It looks like maybe someone was able to answer that. Let's see. Can I explain a little? Oh, a 601A. Yeah, so it has to be your spouse or your parents for 601A. Okay. Your qualifying relative has to be your spouse or your parents who's a resident or a citizen. Any of those like scenarios can work. Okay. Beth, you stayed on a B2 for 5 months, renewed and visited 30 times after. Should you resubmit your visa evidence for AOS? Resubmit it. What do you mean resubmit? Did you file it already? As long as you provided the most recent entry, that's all they care about. But the thing is about the other entries, you also want to make sure that you didn't overstay that time, and the accumulation of that time is not more than 180 days. Tina on YouTube, you asked, what does a non-green card guys members mean? Did I write that there? Oh, I should have put like if you found us on a different platform, like they just Google search, then that's what it cost. That's what I should have put. If people call in, I didn't know what to call people other than y'all. Okay, so basically you get value if you schedule during the live show. So you got about a couple. That's why I give you like a kind of a countdown. I got a couple more minutes. It's technically already past that time, but if you call in right now or schedule, if you can't call in like right now, but text in. Text in if you want to make it easy for yourself. Text in your name and say you want to lock in the 5. Lock it in. Lock in the 5. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go. Let me answer some more questions. Lauren, no. Zilch. Because when you file an application, that's de facto registered. 0. Thank you, Amma. Hopefully they answered. Let's see. Clarky, how long does citizenship take? About 6 months, seems. Someone asked Kids Play, I think it was. Kids Lovely Place. Since y'all need to anticipate that the interview will happen, I don't know about soon, but will happen for your case if it's marriage at least. Even parent filing for a child that also, or U.S. citizen child filing for a parent, that also is has results in interview before. So just be ready for that. And so it's better to contact us sooner than later, so we can conduct our analysis, whatnot, what we need to do. So it's not like last minute. And to give you an idea, usually USCIS will give you like at least 3 to 4 week advance notice. But that's why our team, we're on the ball. We're like most companies, but most law firms are not like this. We have standard operating procedures, aka workflow. My team members know that doesn't matter which kind of position, they know who's going to do what next, right? It's like having this like train on a journey on a train, choo-choo tracks. Don't judge me. I have 2 little kids. So on the tracks, it's going step by step. How to call? Oh yeah, I need to make this larger. My bad. Right there. 832-838-9797. So again, just to share with y'all, recap here what I mentioned earlier. If you don't mind, take our poll. Especially if you filed your case, you have a pending case, whether it's you just filed it yesterday or maybe a week ago, and you got the receipt notice. Go to my link, YouTube and Facebook. It looks something like this. Go to the link. If you're on, I need to reorganize this somewhere here. If you're on TikTok, it looks like this. Go to the link and look for the option of take a poll, okay? And put in your receipt number and your case type, what case application, because what we want to do every month is provide a graph to show like a little bit more real-time trend and not just necessarily rely on USCIS only, okay? So please take advantage of that. That'll be a free resource for y'all. I need to find a way to share that with y'all. So the best way is provide your email if you can. And my team will consider doing, as a courtesy, provide y'all updates on your case if you provide your name and email. Okay, Gigi, is a barbershop considered a company? Yes, it can be, as long as you get it documented with your state. Vanessa, can you apply a petition for your daughter right after you get your green card? You can, but that would be a family preference case. Divine. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me go back to the number. Divine 83. The number is 832-838-9797. The phone lines are hot. Give us give us a call. I feel like you might win a prize, and your prize is peace of mind. Okay, peace of mind for your journey to get your legal status. I know it's a little cheesy, but I'm serious. I'm serious. There's so many people that are getting taken advantage of this situation, right? Because of Trump. So our process is no different than how we've done it the last 3 or 4 years to make it easier for y'all. Okay. We don't be pushy. We're not pushy. If my team is pushy, by the way, let me know. And I'll have to retrain them. But we're here to help you. Okay. Here to help you secure legal status to live and work in America legally. Because the government does not do Algar Stevenus, you will call and consult. Yeah. Now again, if you have a video request, if you have a specific question, you can email us. If you're on TikTok, it's a lot easier to just like ask your question in a comment. You can pick any random video, and I'll eventually get to it. I've seen a lot of questions, and I will get to it very soon to record a video for y'all. Okay. So on that note, I gotta get to the next meeting. All right. I appreciate it. Tina, what's the website for the poll? That is, you're on YouTube, so that is down below in the description box. Looks like that. Okay. Go to that link, LINK, and then there's a couple options. Now, if you want a complimentary guide about mandamus or the top 5 questions to ask a law firm, immigration lawyer, as you're considering to hire one, you can hire anyone. Hire anyone that you feel comfortable with. It doesn't have to be us, okay? As long as you follow, that's okay. All right. It's kind of interesting. I still get questions from people who currently have attorneys, and that's okay. More the merrier. I'm happy to answer. All right, I appreciate it. Abdul, I have no idea. It ranges for a lot of people, and how long to get a work permit based on asylum. It can't take a long time. Could be 6 months, could be a year. All righty. Let me hop off and get some lunch. Have a great day.